Welcome to Unit 4. What we'll be doing this unit is developing your design concepts and working towards creating your two final presentations of the visual communications to meet those requirements stated in the design brief you wrote last semester. So having completed the design brief, the research and idea generation last semester, you'll then continue the design process by further developing and refining those concepts. You'll use a range of digital and manual 2- and 3-dimensional methods, media and materials, and have lots of fun doing it. You'll then investigate how to apply the design elements and design principles to create different communication messages for your targeted audience. You'll then refine and present two final presentations as stated in the design brief that you wrote. You'll then, once your folio and final presentations are completed, you'll then reflect on it all, thinking about the process, the decisions you made, and then you'll evaluate it and devise a pitch, which you can do either in PowerPoint, or you can actually arrange a meeting to come into distance and do a live presentation, or we can do one over Skype or Polycom. And what the pitch will do is it'll communicate and summarise that whole design process that you've just been through. So how are we assessed in Unit 4? Well, there are 3 outcomes in Unit 4, and there's 1 outcome left over from last semester. So that one was the outcome 3, and that's where you wrote your design brief, you started your research and you generated ideas. The design brief is worth 10 marks, and I'd like to see the final copy of that in week 2, which is next week. I'd also like to see your research and idea generation finalised by next week, and that's worth 10 marks as well. Your actual final mark though, I'm not giving you until I mark the SAT in its completed state. Outcome 1, which is the first outcome we're looking at for this unit, is really about your design development and design refinement. So this is using methods, media, materials, different design elements and different design principles to really develop those ideas further to make a really slick final presentation. You can see that it's worth 30 marks and it's due in week 7. That's when you really need to aim to have the development and refinement completed. Outcome 2 is about your final presentations, and they're marked against 3 criteria, so it's worth 30 marks in total. So what you're really working towards is creating really polished, professional, original final presentations. Now they'll be due in week 11 along with your design folio, your design brief, and all of your folio pages. Unit 4, the final outcome is really the pitch, which is worth 20 marks, and that's due also in week 11. So the reason it's due at the same time is because it is a summary of the design process that you've taken, and everything gets marked together. So let's look at the SACs and the SAT in a bit more detail and see how it fits into the overall study. You'll see the big purple wedge there in that diagram. That's your SAT, and you begin it in Unit 3 and you complete it in Unit 4, and it's worth 40% of your overall study score. You can see the little red-shaped wedge there, which is SAC 1, which is worth 5%. Now that's actually your pitch. So that's the summary that you can present in whatever fashion you like, PowerPoint or present it live, and that's also due in week 11. You can see the exam there is worth 35%, and your total marks for Unit 3 are worth 20%. So what weekly work are you going to be doing? Well, each week you'll be doing a series of design activities towards your SAT. So really you need to be spending about 4 to 6 hours every week on your SAT, on each presentation. Try to even that time up. Don't work on one folio and then finish that and work on the other. Try to work on both folios and both presentations at the same time. You'll also need to complete some reading from the Guthrie text, and you'll also need to submit evidence of your SAT folio work each week. So you'll need to upload that or email me JPEGs of what you've been up to. And you'll know what you've done well and what you need to improve upon, because I'll give you that email feedback as I have been doing in Unit 3, and your folio pages that you send me, I'll also highlight and write comments on, and you can review those and see where you need to make improvements. So that's Unit 4 in a nutshell. If you want to have a look at this slideshow, then you can go back to the resources assessment Unit 4 overview, and there's actually a PDF there that you can download if you need to look at this stuff in more detail.